Hi and welcome to PK&B.
Thanks for joining us. If you haven't had a chance, please subscribe, like this. We want to talk to you today about something quite interesting.
That's right, we want to touch on a bit of neuroplasticity. If you haven't heard the word, we're going to have a bit of a discussion about that. Kim has some insight that has meant something to him.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we start, neuroplasticity.
Do you want me to have a go?
What is it?
All right. My understanding is that it's ways of removing bad thinking or thinking that you want to replace with something else and creating new pathways for new thinking.
Yeah. So, by the way, we're not experts in this. You can get all sorts of TED Talks from neuroscientists talking about this concept. And the idea is that your brain could be reshaped. It could be rewired. And your thinking patterns form pathways, if you like, in your brain. And the more well-tread these pathways are, the easier it is for you to think that way.
Sure.
But the good news is we can retrain the way we think.
It's just like creating habits.
Yeah, absolutely.
It becomes automatic.
So thinking habits, right?
Sure.
And the more you think that way, the easier it is to think that way. And that works both positively and negatively, right? There's some bad habits, and then there's some good habits.
If you create that bad thinking, your mind will keep going there.
Correct. So think of it as a stream, and the wider the stream, the more thoughts go down there. Now, before neuroplasticity was famous, anyway, before I heard about it, I'm talking about maybe like 15 years, 20 years ago, I was struggling with some very negative thought patterns. And like I said, there wasn't all this information out like there is today about neuroplasticity. And through a season of time, I got this, I felt God gave me these picture of what I'm going to call a stream, okay, so a river, if you like, and the river split up into 5 different branches, just like your hand, just like your hand.
I remember you telling me it was quite impacting, the fact that we can just look at our hand and be reminded of this concept.
And I remember just drawing it out, and if you've seen the Nile River, as it flows towards the ocean, it splits up into a few different branches. It's just like that, or the picture I had was just like that. And the way a river flows through the land, if there was another opportunity for it to branch off, and there is some water, there's lower land there, it'll branch off. There'll be some erosion. And the more water that goes that way, the greater that stream and that branch becomes. Okay, just like normal erosion. And I felt God was putting upon my heart that my thinking was like this. Remember, this is before this whole concept of neuroplasticity, at least I've ever heard of it, and it was mainstream. It may have been there in journals, and people in that industry may have known of it, but
you'd yet to come across it.
I'd yet to come across it, yeah. And what I felt is I needed to board up that branch of the river. Okay, I needed to stop water, which was an analogy of the way I was all my thoughts going that way. And over time, the soil and the sand would fill it in, and eventually you could take away the boards, and it would not naturally want to go that way anymore. It would go with the rest and the bulk of the water. And for me, that was it was obvious what I needed to do. I needed to stop thinking certain ways. I identified certain thinking patterns, and that needed to be boarded up.
Exactly.
I can't keep thinking. I can't let things go that way. My thoughts go that way. And I found the more that I did that, the less of an issue, the less I would think that way.
That's right. Yeah.
And my thinking was redirected. And without hearing the concept of neuroplasticity and rewiring your brain, that's kind of what I did. And I felt that was more, just revelation. that
And you shared that.
came.
You shared that with me as well, and it was quite impacting for me
Yep.
because I had things as well. I think we all have things that we struggle with and ways of thinking that we're trying to overcome, and some we're aware of and some we're not until we kind of dig a little bit deeper and realize why things are happening. So I think for me it was a matter of when the thought comes, don't entertain it. Don't let it go any further than that. Just board it up and go, no, I'm not going that way.
Yep.
And then it becomes easier, as you said.
Yep.
To keep saying no, don't think about it, and it will go other ways. And you talked about what you can replace it with. Like if we're not thinking about fears of, if it's fear, you replace it with.
Yeah, the best thing I find is if you identify negative thinking, okay, and that's probably a whole another video to actually do that. But once you identify that something is wrong in your thinking, which in and of itself can be quite difficult,
Sure.
the important thing is to find out what is its opposite. Okay. What is the right way of thinking? If I'm living in fear and I'm having fearful thoughts, well, the way I should be thinking is in faith. So I go to the Bible. I find something that is filled with faith. That's opposite to if I'm worried about finances or I'm worried about whatever it may be, a fear of disappointment, fear of death, whatever it is. I find a something in the Bible that's telling me, hey, how I should think on that topic.
Sure, yeah. And you need to
replace it with that.
Yeah, you need to be intentional about that. And so when you keep just saying no, I'm not doing that, I'm going this way instead, that will become easier. But you need to put that into action.
Yep.
And
you can form
make those steps.
You can form new neural pathways,
exactly.
right? You can, like we board up something, we could actually open something else up.
And that will change your life because you've talked about how our thoughts are so impacting and our actions and our whole being, and so it's important.
So guard your heart.
Exactly, guard
your
heart.
Everything flows from it.
Take your thoughts captive. Realize the power that they do have over our lives and our relationships, and how we handle life in general. So
just want to encourage you to start to form new ways of thinking. If you've identified negative, fearful, whatever it is, ways of thinking, start to retrain your brain.
Sure, it's very powerful. Yeah.
Very powerful.
Great. Well,
thanks
do you have
for
anything
watching.
else to add? No,
that's it.
That's it. So, thanks for watching. If you are enjoying our videos, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and comment. We'd love to hear your comments.
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Sure.
And your experience.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.